We are looking at your Dynasty football trades on today's
Come
video.
on, baby.
If you want your trades to be in this weekly video series, it's actually quite simple. Go to flockfantasy.com/land, link in the description. If you sign up to the Mother Flocker tier using our code LAND, you will gain access in the Discord to our Dynasty Trades show where you can put your trades, your screenshot, and hear weekly feedback from us on this video series. So, Badaki, why don't we go ahead and start with Judge My Name here. He was the first trade since we last started.
Yeah.
It looks like he gets Justin Herbert, Elijah Moore, Dwayne McBride. He sends away Deshaun Watson, Christian Watson, and Zach Charbonnet. And as much as I love Justin Herbert, I just want to be 100% honest and transparent here. I definitely prefer the Deshaun Watson side. I think Deshaun Watson and Herbert both had bad years. I think they're both going to recover, no doubt. Deshaun Watson didn't have really an offseason at all. He just got the playbook, I believe, like a week before he started. Didn't get to really get in rhythm with his guys during the offseason. He's going to come back. He's been great historically. I think Christian Watson's a great buy low. I think Charbonnet is really the part here where it sets it over for me to get Charbonnet. So I prefer that side. I don't know about you, but I just want to be honest with where I am there.
No, I definitely prefer the Watson side. I think there's more value there. Christian Watson and Zach Charbonnet. You know, the expectation Zach Charbonnet should be getting a good landing spot. He should be drafted in the first 2 rounds. And Dwayne McBride, I don't expect him to be drafted anywhere near the top of the draft in the first 3 or 4 rounds, in my opinion. So I agree. Christian Watson, a bigger jump than Elijah Moore. Justin Herbert, or Deshaun Watson, a down tier from Justin Herbert, but still a guy that we believe could be a top 5 quarterback, has had the history of being a top 5 quarterback in the past. So I'm happy to take the Watson side here.
And look, there's a scenario in which Charbonnet doesn't, for whatever reason, he doesn't get capital that we absolutely 100% think he will get. And then we'll have to revisit potentially. But okay, next one is from Space and Field, 12-team Superflex, half PPR, 205 plus 412 for Deontay. How do you feel about this trade here in a 12-team Superflex? That's a 205 and the 412.
205, 412. I'm happy with the Deontay Johnson side here. Taking a chance on Deontay. Because I think this range, you kind of fall out of the guys that I really want. You know, you could get a Xavier Hutchinson, but does he get the draft capital? You could get somebody we believe in, but I really like Deontay Johnson still, especially now with Chase Claypool out of there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And last offseason, I've said this before, but my 2 biggest sells were Deontay and Najee. But now I'm in. If this is the price, I'm absolutely in on Deontay Johnson. I agree. Gunnar Gar 68, 10-team, full PPR, start 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 4 flex, and a defense. Won my league last year, so hopefully that 25-second is a late one. So it's not super flex, it's 2 quarterback. And a 10-team. So 208, 209, the 307 for James Conner and a second. This is, pretty even value on both sides. I guess you're probably not getting more than this for James Conner.
No, I'm going to take the picks here, 208, 209, and
agreed.
just hope that I get one of these running backs that lands to me in those mid to late second round. So I'm not a believer in James Conner. Don't believe he's going to, take the next step this year. And I believe that the Cardinals are going to draft a running back as well. So
yeah, I think so as well. I think you and I are on the same page there. And in a 10-team, that's more like the 206 and the 207. Yeah. So I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that as well.
Basie says Delta League making contender moves. Okay, so I didn't know if he was actually going to send this in there, but he did. So I have told you guys to go out and buy Rashid Shaheed and brought him in a video recently this week. Here's an example of me buying Rashid Shaheed. I sent away K. Doughton. This is not a tight end premium league. But Aki, who do you prefer in this deal? Let me just ask you, because I'm the one who accepted the Rashid side. So
yeah, no, I would personally go Rashid because I don't believe K. Dalton is a focal point of this offense. I would take a shot on Rashid Shaheed over K. Dalton at this very moment, personally, just based off of team construction, what I believe is going to happen. K. Dalton is around Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. What's that going to look like? Who's the quarterback there? Where I feel a little bit more confident with Derek Carr. And even if they do draft another wide receiver, Rashid could still get a wide receiver 3 role, whatever that looks like, right?
Sure.
So that's what I would say.
Yeah. You guys know where I stand. I made the trade. 7 Goat Rings. What's up, brother? 12 team, full PPR, Superflex, Star 11. I'm a strong contender. Also own 102, 104, 204, and 306. So Goat Rings gets Tyreek, Dalvin Cook, Claypool in a first. Sends away D-Hop, Damian Pierce, Allen Lazard in the 105. I mean, yeah, as a contender, this is a no-brainer in my mind for Tyreek and Dalvin Cook. I don't know about you, though, but Aki, would you see it the same way?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Tyreek Dalvin is definitely good, and you still get a 24 first later on, so that's fine. So he's in the way the 105, so another running back there. Gibbs,
Yeah,
whatever the
you
case
kind of
may
look
be.
at it like Tyreek, D-Hop, Pierce, Cook, the 105 and the 24 first are really the main pieces.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I prefer the Tyreek side there for sure.
Yeah, completely agree.
All right. Okay, so Matty Ice 53 says context wanted to take a gamble on Ridley's season with the Jags. Ridley owner wasn't sure about Calvin's production after missing a year.
Oh man, this is an interesting one.
Really?
It is.
For me, this is an easy yes.
I'll tell you why. Because I'm in a similar position. I have Calvin Ridley, and I'm willing to, but my trade is a little bit different. Mine's the 201 and the 203. So I get a higher pick, and I think I'm happy in that range. I haven't done the trade yet. It's just been sitting in my inbox, and I think I want to pull the trigger, and it's been really difficult. But I'm back and forth because Ridley's back. I don't think he's going to necessarily demand all these targets that we're expecting, but at the same time, I can see him doing that. I think Christian Kirk, I would say, is the flip side. I believe in Christian Kirk still demanding targets,
Sure.
and Calvin really definitely eating into that. But how much is he going to eat into that? I think he's going to demand at least 100 targets. But is he going to catch 60 or 50% of those targets, or whatever the case may be, and then he kind of falls outside of that wide receiver 15 range, right? And then he goes and then he's 29 years old. Do they re-sign him, right? I think that's the biggest risk for me. If the Jags don't re-sign Calvin Ridley next year, where does he go now? Does he go to a worse team? Does he go to a better team? And that's the risk that I don't know. Maybe I'm willing to avoid right now, but maybe I can also hurt myself in the same time doing that. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I've been screaming buy Calvin for a year plus, and you used to be able to get him for like a late second alone, and I'm still willing to pay this price. I know you're worried about targets.
I'm worried about longevity. I'm worried about the longevity with this team. That's the true worry. I think he's gonna get the targets. I'm not worried about it. I think he could potentially be a top guy. I think if they don't re-sign him, where does he go? And I think there's a lot more other teams that can use Calvin Ridley that probably is not going to make him as fantasy relevant as we probably think. That's my concern.
Well, I don't know that there's any like analytics behind that. It's just more of a feeling, which I find hard to rely on. Look, I'm betting on Calvin Ridley, the talent. Last time we saw Calvin Ridley fully healthy and himself, he was a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. And if he is even a top 20 wide receiver, then you got to steal with this deal. And by the way, if you look at the target share last year for the Jags, Zay Jones and Marvin Jones Jr. combined for 202 targets. Marvin Jones is a free agent, so his 81 targets are gone. Zay Jones had 121 targets. Christian Kirk had 133. I fully anticipate either Kirk or Ridley leading this team in targets, and I think it could be Calvin Ridley by the time the season is done. I'm more than happy to take this shot. This is what we say, bet on talent. That's what I'm doing here with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I hear you.
Jay Stump, 12-team PPR, 1 quarterback home league. I have 101 and 102 already, and the other owner has 104. Wanted out of the 107 plus, had JMO on the block while he had Swift on the block. Devonta will solidify my wide receiver room, and I don't mind taking a shot on Swift as my running back room is just Bijan after our rookie draft, Pierce and Herbert. Okay, so it looks like, by the way, recognize the 2 teams in this deal. Shout out to the Echo Dynasty League. Love it. Some of the guys in our follower league. So Swift and Devonta for Rashad, Jameson Williams, and the 107.
Oh, boy.
I am a Jameson Williams guy, true and true. And this
true.
is pretty easily the Jameson Williams side for me personally.
Yes, it's easy Jameson for me as well because of the 107. If the 107 wasn't there, I would take a shot with Smith and Swifty. Um, but the fact that Mustang is getting the 107, I think really helps him in this scenario, because if Rashard White doesn't work out, he can get a Sharby there, or he can get another wide receiver there. And when I say doesn't work out, I mean if the Bucks do draft another running back, that's what I mean.
This is how I would ideally want to move away from Swift. Something I've been advising all offseason. So this is kind of perfect scenario for me.
Yeah.
SXP 12-team PPR start 9 heavy rebuild, traded out of elite tier, split my asset, then traded Dotson / proven production, gave up an extra second more than I wanted to, but I don't want to risk a miss at the 111. Okay, these formats
This is just so
are
confusing.
very difficult to see.
What am I looking at here?
I want to help you, SX, but best advice I give is tell your league to change to sleeper, because what are we looking at here? The 111, a 24 first, and we got the 107, I think.
And then it just says, okay, draft pick from the night. Okay.
So I don't know
the
exactly how to grade this, but if it's the 111 and a 24 first versus just the 107, I definitely prefer the side of the 2 picks.
Exactly. That's what I would say. But then there's another trade as well. That's 111, 211, 212 for Jahan Dotson.
And in that same deal, I think I'm taking Jahan Dotson.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of that's a lot for Jahan. Actually, 2 late seconds. I'm okay with that with Jahan, actually.
Yeah, I would take Jahan here. Just quality over quantity with this type of move for me. I think you probably could send like the 110 straight up for Jahan right now in a deal, so it might be a slight overpay for Jahan Dotson. So I would say it's even value on both sides, but I'm just a Dotson guy. But I'm really sorry, XXXP. I hope we read that right. I hope it was helpful. Space and Field says, I'll repost this since it wasn't further up in the thread. 12-team. Okay, yeah, we
did that one with Deontay Johnson.
We did that trade.
Yeah, we said Deontay.
Shout out to S. Shout out to you, my man. 10-team Superflex PPR 6-point touchdown. So it looks like one team got Rashee Rice, AJ Brown, Josh Allen, and Khalil Shakir. The other team gets DeAndre Swift, Chris Olave, Trevor Lawrence, and Tank Bigsby. This is very interesting. Superflex League. You're tearing down from Josh Allen. You're tearing down from Chris Olave, technically. And I guess you're using Swift to justify it. I think this is Josh Allen for me.
I think this is an even trade for me. I am okay taking the shot on Swifty because I still believe he can be a viable asset in fantasy, and especially in a pass catching perspective. You are tearing down from AJ Brown, but you're getting Chris Olave, which I don't think is a massive tear down. You are tearing down from Josh Allen to Trevor Lawrence, which in my rankings, Trevor Lawrence is my QB6.
Yeah.
From Josh Allen, which is QB1. So it just really depends on how you see it. It's not a massive tear down, but it is a tear down. I would just say it's a tear down, right? I don't really feel like I'm hurting significantly from Josh Allen to Trevor Lawrence, in my perspective.
There's a lot of projecting there,
and I think that this is what you do, because you project Trevor Lawrence to take the next step and at least squeeze into that top 5 category. Can he surpass Jalen Hurts? Can he surpass?
Sure.
I feel like I wouldn't say Joe Burrow, but I would say closer to Jalen. I said Jalen Hurts already, so yeah. And I would rather Shakira, as much as I love him, he was my guy. It's gonna be tough to kind of see him getting that role, and I'd rather have Swifty over Shakira and Rice right now. But if Rice get draft capital,
I feel better about Shakir today than I have all last offseason, to be honest. What I will say is just one man's personal opinion. If I am tearing down at 2 very important positions, I'm not doing it to tear up with DeAndre Swift, respectfully.
Agreed.
That is not the player I'm doing it for. I need a much bigger, heavy hitter to tear down and make this move. Yeah, we're projecting, but we know who Josh Allen is. We know what A.J. Brown's offense looks like and what he means to it and his connection with Jalen Hurts. Swift isn't the dude that I want to tear down and make a move like this for. That he's not the run. He's, in my opinion, it's David Montgomery's probably going to score more fantasy points this year. That is not the guy. I'm down to do a move like this. I love this idea. I don't think the execution's good because Swift is not the difference maker for me to make this move.
I hear you. I think this is more even than we expect. That's what I would say.
Okay.
But that's also difficult to kind of, break down because we don't know where Rice is going to go. If he gets second round draft capital and he is, he's a guy that's going to get into a role, absolutely. I think I would probably take Rice. What if he goes?
Tank and Rice are big wild cards.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Look, I love Trevor Lawrence and Olave, but yeah, I got to get more if I'm tearing down. That's not a tear down that I like. Goat Rings, 12-team Superflex start 11, full PPR, strong contender. My quarterbacks are Dak, Russ, Watson, Jacoby. Also have 102, 104, 204, 304. Felt like a move up from the 107 / Love was better play to get the 104 than staying put. So it looks like he gets, this is a big one, Chris Godwin, Sam Darnold, Dameon Pierce, 104, 204, 304. He sends away Minshew, Love, Watson, the 107, the 209, and the 210. Okay, there's a lot to talk about here.
Well, okay.
There is a lot to talk about here.
I would say let's break it down per position and how he's tearing down. That's how I'm understanding it in my mind. I don't know if you're understanding
I'm assuming
it that way.
at the 104 we're going quarterback.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm thinking. That's why he was okay to trade away Jordan Love.
So you send away Jordan Love and Minshew, you get Sam Darnold in the 104. At running back, you get Dameon Pierce, but you send away the 107, which is probably Charbonnet. This is probably, I think this trade is going to hinge on what you believe about Dameon Pierce and what you believe about Jordan Love. That is really the focal point of this of this trade. What I will say is I love that Burley was able to get Watson and send Godwin away in this deal.
Agreed.
I think it's pretty even though. I would say this is very even. If you are Jordan Love and Christian Watson guy, then you're probably going to take that side. If you love Dameon Pierce and Anthony Richardson, then you're probably going to take Seven Goat's side. I think it's very even.
Yeah, and I think one thing I think we might be undervaluing here is a 204 as well for Seven Goats. Okay. That can be, in my opinion, that can be a wide receiver. That can be a running back. I think those two guys, those two positions can really help. Is that a Josh Downs if he falls? Is that a Sharby and Izzy after this pro day? Not Sharby, a Zach Evans, excuse me. So Zach Evans and Izzy, a Sean Tucker, right? Who are those guys that can go in and help him at the 204 that he really believes in over somebody, over somebody at the 209 and the 2010. So I think this is close. I think if you put Anthony Richardson or Will Levis in this scenario, I think it can be easily a one-sided deal. That's how I would say. That's what I would say.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. The next one that he has is 12-team Superflex PPR, 2 quarterbacks start 11. And it looks like he gets Lamar Jackson, the 207, the 205. Sends away Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, Hassan Haskins, and Deontay Johnson. As much as I love Deontay Johnson and Trey Lance as buy lows, this is a great example of selling them high somehow. Yeah. And getting Lamar Jackson. This is a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, and I think the other person is willing to take that risk on the other side because he's getting Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, which makes it a little bit better. So I like the Lamar Jackson side, but I also think the other side played it smart by getting both of them, not just one.
Yeah, this deal would look much more risky if it was just Lance or just Purdy.
100%.
But again, I'm all about the quality over quantity. So I'll take the Lamar side there. 10 Superflex start 11 4 IDP flex. I mean, I wonder how many leagues Seven Goats is in. Probably. I now have the 101, 103, 110. All I had before was 101 and 103. 301. Rebuilding team, but have a lot of solid assets. Just had a down year. My quarterbacks are Stafford, Rush, Jacoby, Love, Huntley, now Ritter, and Malik. Okay, so he gets Waddle, Malik, Ritter, the 110 and the 103. He sends away Lance, London, Damian Pierce, the 301, and Gabe Davis. I really love this deal for GOATs personally.
Agreed.
I really love this deal. You're sending away the uncertainty of a Trey Lance. And I think GOATs might have been similar to me last year. Really felt like Trey Lance could have had an incredible year, but disappointed by not knowing what would have happened if he stayed healthy. And now you're trying to recover from that in some of your leagues.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great example of pivoting off of Trey Lance.
Agreed. And this is a sweet spot. And this is where we're saying, if you can, in a video that's going to be coming out here soon, it's probably already out by the time this video is out. I was saying, 110 is a sweet spot for Trey Lance. So you trade away Trey Lance, get the 110. And then not only that, you tier up in a wide receiver room, take a shot on Desmond Ridder. And we'll see what happens. And you get the 103, and you get another quarterback in
103 is huge. I think the 103 is the biggest piece in this deal.
Agreed. Completely agree. But yeah, I think this is the 110 is definitely the middle ground.
Yeah, I like this for you, GOATs. All right, last one on today's show is from Ignition. Older trade, but I don't think many of the values have changed. 10-team Superflex start 9 on the bottom side, and the reigning champ trying to get some youth. Okay, so he gets Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson, and Treylon Burks. I love those names. Sends away D-Hop, Kamara, Godwin, and a 4th. This is the definition of a no-brainer.
Yep.
I love it for Rowan here.
Completely agree. Amari Cooper was a guy I said you should be buying low. Completely undervalued coming into his first year. Now going to come in with 17 games with Deshaun Watson. We're going to see a massive step up from Amari Cooper and the way he finished last year. I mean, he was doing great in the first half of the season, and then Deshaun came in. That was a little bit rusty, not playing after a year. So I do like this trade.
I love how Treylon Burks is kind of like a guy that you just put in a package now. And I just love that you get him for that kind of value. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
So those are all the trades for this week. Do you want your trades to be on this video series? Like we mentioned before, it's actually really simple. Go ahead and sign up to flockfantasy.com/land. Link in the description. It's also in a pinned comment. And once you sign up to the Mother Flocker tier with our code, you will unlock the opportunity to have your trades in every week, every show. Appreciate everyone who's already joined. Let us know what you think about these trades, and comment down below a trade that you've made pretty recently. Like the video to show some support. Subscribe if you like Dynasty content, and we'll see you in the next one very soon. All love. Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, L-A-N-D, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.
It's so easy. Even your grandma could scan that QR code right there.